Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so happy to have so many of you joining us today for our session on From American Studies to Zoology, how news and NewsBank's rich content can support your faculty and students. We are at the top of the hour, so let's get started. My name is Catherine Bergerson. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at NewsBank. And right now, we'll be joined by my colleague Deborah Scott in just a few moments. Taking a look at how you're leveraging your NewsBank resources has really never been more important, or perhaps how you can use your NewsBank resources and start integrating them into more programming has never been more critical. And you can feel comfortable with NewsBank that you're bringing the most credible, vetted sources to your faculty and students, whether they're on campus or utilizing them remotely. Getting started, just want to let you know that the session is being recorded. We will send out a link to everyone following today's session with the recording. And all of our contact information, the slides that we share today, links to our website, they're all in the handout section. You can just download those right now or anytime during our session today, and you'll have access to all the information that we share. It is our goal in the next 30 to 45 minutes to share with you how Access World News Research Collection and historical newspaper archives can really meet your institution's research needs. We'll give you a preview of our Marketing Resource Center. We'll share with you some tips to really engage students and faculty, get it into the hands of your users, and the ways that we're here to support you. We have time for questions and answers throughout. We'll pause from time to time. So again, in that gray bar area where it says questions or chat, feel free to enter the questions you have there, and we'll do our best to get to all of them as time allows. To kick things off, I'd like to share a brief background on NewsBank. I'm proud to tell you that this month is our 50th anniversary as a company. We're so proud to share that with you. We aggregate news sources and information sources from all around the world to bring credible, vetted, global sources that are available to you and your faculty and students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So thank you for investing in this incredible content or learning more about it and how it can help serve your institution. Now, to take a walk through Access World News Research Collection, I'll turn it over to Deb Scott. She is our Customer Engagement Representative. Hi, Deb.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Catherine. As Catherine mentioned, I'm the Customer Engagement Representative for NewsBank, working with academic and community college and all of our institutions. With so many academic institutions using Access World News and America's News, we found many ways that these resources can meet the research needs of your professors and students. We've reviewed our usage analytics across all academic institutions, and here is a snapshot of what we found. Students and faculty are looking for information to support a wide array of curricular areas, including social issues to support English and social studies assignments, business and entrepreneurship for the latest news and trends around the world and in your community. Political science classes use NewsBank for daily coverage of elections as well as historic perspectives on issues, plus international studies, environmental issues, and much more. We also analyzed use patterns after major events. This slide demonstrates search patterns after Hurricane Ian struck the west coast of Florida in October 2022. You can see the event in the center with the orange boxes showing searches immediately following the hurricane. The boxes on top show searches for previous hurricanes where researchers were looking for similarities or differences. The boxes on the bottom show the issues and questions that may arise after a major hurricane and that are covered by the news media. More importantly, national media will report on a major event like Hurricane Ian for a week or so and then move on. The local and regional news sources will continue to report on the event or issue and aftermath for much longer. This rich source information is one of the strengths of Access World News and America's News and allows researchers to dig deep into an issue or event. So let's get started and jump right into the product. So this is the homepage of Access World News. I'll give you a quick overview of this product. And for those of you with America's News, much of the information will also be relevant. Access World News is a comprehensive collection of more than 12,000 sources from more than 200 countries. I just pulled up the source list, and as you can see, we have transcripts of radio and television broadcasts, college and university newspapers, large and small newspaper titles. These can be sorted with this drop-down list, or you can use the tabs on the top of each column. There are more than 10 languages in Access World News, from Afrikaans to Zulu, or you can type in your language here to pull up all the sources with that language. Spanish, French, and English, the most prevalent in the database. I'll go back to the home screen and start with a keyword search for climate change and flooding. I put my phrase in quotes, and we use Boolean operators to connect words. I can type that in here, or I can go over to the more search options to get an advanced search screen. As you can see, we've pulled up quite a few articles from around the world. Here's some articles from New Zealand showing me that other parts of the world are experiencing devastating rains and floods. We can further narrow our search with the limiters on the left. By date, by type of resource, by name, location, language. This encourages researchers to think about what type of information they want or where their information is coming from. I selected location, and you can see we can sort by continent all the way down to the city level. This allows students to compare viewpoints around the world and different reporting styles. I'm going to go down just to the state of Florida, just to get some updated information on the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. So we have articles from today, from Miami Herald, University of Miami, Tampa Bay Times, Bradenton, Florida. And let me jump into a couple of these articles to show you around. This is a text article with the title, citation information at the top. Our keywords are highlighted. All of our text articles have a read news document feature, which is helpful for English language learners and those who learn better by hearing information. All of the navigation is at the top, where we can adjust the text size, export the information, the citation information. A student can email, print, download this information, save it to a folder. This is the copy link, where we can take this article and put it in a course page. And the green button allows us to share this to Google Classroom. I'm going to go back to my search results. Some of our publishers, in addition to the text feed, will send us an image feed of their title. As you can see, this is a PDF of an article from the Bradenton Herald from today. It's all keyword searchable, and our search terms are highlighted. All the navigation is the same with the image edition, with the addition of the ability to clip. So this allows me to select an article, or I can select just a photo to download or save. And every time a student saves, prints an article, we prompt them to add the citation information as well. With an image edition, you can also use the thumbnails over on the left to jump to any page within the issue. This is great for browsing today's news. I'm jumping to the front page of the Bradenton Herald. or I've heard of journalism classes who like to use this feature as well. So while some users might not think of news as a place to go for information on health, science, technology, or the environment, what we've learned from our users is they often find the latest trends, treatments, or statistics on topics that might be so new they haven't made it into scientific or medical journals yet. Articles in the news tend to be written in layman's terms, so it's easier for researchers to get up to speed on their topic before they jump into peer-reviewed journals. And this makes news sources a great complement to other resources available through the library. That's also how we created suggested topics. The topics provided here are, topics provided here are created by our editors based on searches that we found in our database. Our editorial team has crafted these searches so researchers can find information on their article in just 2 clicks. I'm going to stick with my climate change search, clicking on environment and going to the subtopic of climate change. This brings me targeted articles, and this is a great example of the advanced search that our editors put together. It's editable, and then researchers can use the limiters on the left to further focus their search. I've also heard from faculty and librarians that this editorially crafted search is a great way for them to teach students how to conduct a more complex search and improve their information literacy skills. Another use for Access World News and America's News is for comparing current and historical events. With many of our sources providing information from the 1980s to the present, instructors are able to take a current event and see how it was discussed in the past. For example, right now in the 4th quarter of 2022, many news and business outlets are talking about definitions and possibilities of a looming recession. As you can see here, the simple search recession brings up many current articles from around the world. I can use my limiters on the left now to sort this even further. But what I'd like to do is target a specific date. So I can go just to articles from 2008 when there was another recession, or just articles from the 1980s. This allows the students to make comparisons with linking the past with the present pretty easily. You will notice, finally, there are blue boxes on the left. These are, the right side of the homepage. We can customize these for your institution with geographic regions, states, or specific titles to make it easier for researchers to find information or even browse the daily newspaper. Today, I'm going to select the San Francisco Chronicle collection. This collection happens to include the historical archives for this title, bringing total coverage from 1865 to the present. Keep in mind that if your institution does not have the historical archives for a particular title, you still have historic coverage in Access World News. As I mentioned earlier, some sources go back to the 1980s. This gives researchers 40 years of information where they can easily compare current events to historical, such as impeachment trials, race relations, or even fashion trends that are coming back. This publisher sends us 4 formats of this title: the historical archives, the text, image, and web edition content. The web edition content is important because most publishers now have a way for readers to access content from their smartphones or computers. Some of the articles found online can be longer than the same article in the print edition, or may even have articles that didn't make it to the print edition due to space constraints. So with this collection, you can be sure to have all the content provided by the publisher. For my search, I will just search immigration and schools to see how this topic has been discussed in San Francisco. I end up with 22,000 articles from the last 160 years. The default is the newest first articles, but I can click on oldest to see articles from the 1860s. Or I can use my date limiter to just type in 1922 and just see articles from 100 years ago talking about immigration in schools. Another way to compare reporting styles and issues linking the past with the present. There are so many ways to use Access World News and America's News, but in the interest of time, I will turn this back over to Catherine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Deb. That's great information. Yes, please, let's pause here. And again, if you have any questions, please use that gray box that says questions. You can enter them there. And Deborah, you brought up Hurricane Ian and Nicole, and I've got to say, I'm here in Florida, and we are keeping a very close eye on Nicole as we're still cleaning up from Hurricane Ian. So that's
my
important.
gosh.
Yes, it's so important on a personal level and on research levels, and so
Absolutely.
I appreciate that that topic and seeing the different sources. But we do have a few questions. Karen, thank you for asking. How can we find articles with more diverse voices from underrepresented groups or peoples?
That is a great question. Thank you. Included with our sources is a collection of around 180 titles from underrepresented groups. We license them as sources because they're identified by the publisher and editors as ethnic titles. So whenever a researcher runs a search, those titles are included in the search results. The suggested topic area, diversity, equity, and inclusion, can guide students to some of these important issues in this area, or we can spike out just, where did it go? Just the ethnic sources here on the sidebar, so the students can just run their search with those titles. Also, our Black Life in America and Hispanic Life in America collections focus on the experience and impact of African Americans or Hispanic Americans as recorded by the news media. So please contact us or your account representative for more information on any of these areas or to customize your homepage.
Great, thank you very much. We have another question about languages. What languages are included and how do we find the various languages?
As I mentioned, there are more than 10 languages in the database. You can find them on the source list up here. There are actually 3 ways to find them. By the source list, we can create a quick link for just Spanish language or language resources, or you can just type in your phrase in the particular language into the search box, and that will bring up all articles that contain that word or phrase. So in this case, I'm pulling up languages in Spanish that are talking about climate change. So pretty easy, great asset for English language learners or Spanish language studies.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And if anybody else thinks of other questions as we move along, please don't hesitate to type them in. So thank you very much, Deborah. And now that we've learned how to pinpoint that great information, we want to give you some of my top 5 engagement strategies to really get it in the hands of your faculty and your students. So number 1, get it in the news. Your school library or your university likely has a newsletter or an e-newsletter, blog, whether it's internal or also to external audiences, you can reintroduce Access World News to your faculty and students. Here's an example of a blog that Georgia State put out to highlight their historical archives, that they have the Atlanta Journal-Constitution going back to 1883. So that was a great blog that they did to remind the university about having access to that historical archive. Another from one of our colleges in New Zealand, their librarian did an extensive write-up for the college's magazine on NewsBank and the content. So in the handout section, there is a write-up and graphic. You can copy and paste. You can customize it with your information for your school, make it your own. But just the more it's visible, the more people know about it, the more they'll use it. Number 2, building up your web presence. Again, the more places you can add it, the more likely it is that people will discover it. So if you do a featured resource of the month, or a did you know, or hot topics section, that's a great place to highlight NewsBank from time to time. Actually, with the major races across the country yesterday, today would be the perfect time to do a featured resource or in the news for those who are covering and following races and issues, many that are still to be decided today and are important to your students. Take advantage of opportunities like that to show how Access World News can help. I also really like this example from Moody Medical Library. It shows how they value news and how they use news for their students to stay current on medical issues that maybe they haven't yet made it into peer-reviewed journals, but there is emerging information, and so that's in the news. So again, a great example of maybe what doesn't immediately come to mind, but how various areas use the news. Number 3, say it on social. Use our ready-to-use social media posts and graphics to let people know about Access World News. We make it easy every month. If you were not yet on our sign-up list, we make it very easy. We will email you out some ready-to-use posts and graphics. Again, you can copy and paste it, or you can use ours as an outline and customize it for yourself. One of my favorite recent posts has the big graphic with the special reports, and it's probably hard to read. So it says, curious about current events, dive deeper with vetted resources from the NewsBank team. NewsBank is available with your library card. Explore it now before your research paper is due. And then it goes on to say, check out this month's special report on Military Family Appreciation Month and join us for our Veterans Day observance in honor of veterans and their families. And then it gives a link to the video that shows people how to access and use special reports through their library's website. So that's just a great example of taking, again, a topical event. Veterans Day is in 2 days, and they're tying it back to their NewsBank resource and how they can get more information. Number 4, video views. Video is, of course, the #1 way to engage, particularly with students right now. And we have a large collection of brief videos. They're all under 2 minutes that show either an overview of Access World News or Black Life in America, Hispanic Life in America, whatever products you have, and then many how to use videos. So if you want to go deeper and learn how to do an advanced search, or see how do you cite an article, how do you email an article, all of those are available for you. We encourage you to download them, add the links to your website near the resource, or add them to your YouTube channel, put them in a newsletter or on your social sites. We encourage you, please feel free to use and share the videos. And number 5, host a hands-on training. We know that staying on top of training staff and new faculty is a lot. And if you have faculty and staff who would either like a refresher or would like to be introduced to your NewsBank resources, gather up a group And we invite you and a group for a customized complimentary in-service training. Deborah and her team will be happy to schedule a time for you and your group. Actually, we've had several customers reach out recently, and they're using the trainings as part of their professional development days, which is a great idea. We love that and encourage that. So please take advantage of it. Okay, so those are my top 5, but I do have a few other bonus ideas. You can supplement or enhance programs that you're running throughout the year. If you have a film exhibit or an art exhibit or featuring a particular author or Black History Month, pull an article about that author or artist with some interesting facts and background information, and you can use it prior to the event or as a handout at the event. Many people tell us that that extra information really makes the event or experience more valuable. And actually, a few professors have said that they use the articles to provide context and a more well-rounded experience for students. Also, you can use articles from the database to create a compare and contrast on an issue, or see how an issue is covered over time. For example, immigration and border issues are ever present, and you can help researchers with suggestions. You can pull a few articles from the database for students to compare. And again, it's a great way to really tie the past to the present. As Deborah mentioned, people of all ages and researchers just really, we find, enjoy the historical information and looking at the old newspapers, and again, as a way for the past to inform the present. So those are my top 5 ideas. Again, they're in the handout section. You can download them at any time. And I'd like to show you one more thing before we pause for questions again. Please keep entering those questions. I see some more coming in one moment. We will get to those. I would like to show you our Marketing and Resource Center. So on newsbank.com, we have tailored resource centers for colleges and universities, community colleges, and all of the things that I mentioned are there, plus many more resources. We have bookmarks and posters you can print out. We have search tips you can give to students. We link to our LMS system. So I don't know if everyone knows that, but NewsBank can integrate with Canvas and Blackboard, and we have how-to videos and PDFs so that you can easily link our articles right into the Discovery Service or LMS system that you use at your institution. Also, I encourage you, perhaps if you aren't the communications person at your university, share this information with them. As a marketing person, I can tell you we're always looking for new ideas and are open to new ways to share information. So I highly encourage you, please either send this presentation or a link to the resource center to your colleagues in the marketing department too. So I will pause here for questions. And Deborah, some of these may be for you, so let's see. Is there a way to export large batches of articles for text analysis?
Yes, there is. And they contact their account representative for more information about that.
Great.
Reach out to, we'll get your question to the right person and have someone reach out to you.
Yes, okay, so thank you, Charles, for that question. We'll follow up with you one-on-one. Okay, so social media posts. That's another great question. In the follow-up email, I will include a link that you can sign up for our monthly social media posts and get added to our list that goes out monthly. And yes, you can just copy and paste them, or again make them your own. But I'll send the link in the follow-up email to that. Thank you for that question. Okay, I think we've gotten to all of the questions. So moving on, NewsBank, I just want to reiterate what Deborah said and introduce you to Laurel Roars. they are here to support you. We are committed to making the experience of NewsBank as best as we possibly can, and our Marketing and Academic Resource Center, please use that. Please reach out to these ladies if you'd like to schedule your customized complimentary training. If you have questions about the how-to training center with connecting with Discovery Services or the LMS, all of that is there. So all of the links, again, are in this presentation, so you don't have to go hunting around. Right here, you can get to all of the items that we've mentioned. So please, again, feel free to use it yourself, share it with colleagues, and if you have any trouble accessing it, just let me know, send me an email, and I'll be happy to send it over to you. I'm going to do one last quick check for questions. So if you think of a question after this, sometimes, after we say goodbye, you think of something, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer your question. We're grateful for all of your time today. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. And again, if there's anything we can do to help you or your faculty or students and really build that visibility of your NewsBank resources, we're here to support you. On behalf of the NewsBank team, we hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.